Hi there, Happy New Year, and welcome to today's book reflection on the channel. This is Wisdom, your host. Today we are focusing on chapter 1 of Dr. Myles Munroe's book, The Principles and Power of Vision. The Principles and Power of Vision. In the previous episode, we looked at the preface and introduction, and there were some key lessons that we reflected on. Now, the chapter 1 has the theme Vision, the key to fulfilling life's purpose. Vision, the key to fulfilling life's purpose. And it begins with a very simple but important statement. God has placed within each person a vision that is designed to give purpose and meaning to life. And as we have established in the previous episode, vision is looking at having a certain idea of where you are going in life, having this picture of where you are supposed to be, what you are supposed to be doing, having this understanding of what exactly you should be doing at each point in your life. And so without vision, you will not be able to go far because you can't see beyond your present circumstances. And so this chapter is very important because it's going to highlight some key things that influence or affect our ability to live a purpose-filled life because of the lack or presence of vision. And Dr. Myles talks about a time during Christmas where he and the wife took their children to a toy store, and there Cairo, the son, who was about 4 years old, spotted a rocking horse and decided to get onto it and was having the fun of his life and wouldn't want to leave even when it was time to go. And so it says that when we were about ready to leave, he was still having a wonderful time on that rocking horse. So we let him continue while we walked through the store one last time and told our daughter it was time to go. Now, when we came back, Cairo was rocking even faster. By then, he had been going for about half an hour, and he was soaking wet with sweat. As I watched him, and this is where the key is, as I watched him, I felt as if God was saying to me, that's how most people live. They are working hard, sweating hard, but they are making no real progress in life. They are not going anywhere. And this is a very, sad reality for many people where we see a lot of activity going on. We are involved in quite a number of things. We seem to be putting in effort, taking action, but there's no real direction. There's no real sense of fulfillment. There's no real sense of progress being made. And that in itself can be a hindrance to us achieving our best in life. And so there's this important question that I believe that we need to ask ourselves, whether or not we are working hard, sweating hard, but not making progress. This is an important question that we need to reflect on. Am I making progress despite the fact that I'm working hard and sweating hard? And the answer would help us to take the needed action as we will learn in subsequent, reflections. Now, it says that our world is filled with people who are busy but not ultimately effective or satisfied. They are doing much, expending time and energy, but getting little of value accomplished. Consequently, they spend their lives toiling away, but never making any headway. And that can be a sad place to be. When you put in a lot of effort, you seem to be working hard, but you are not really making the right choices, taking the right steps that will lead to real progress. And so we come to hear of how people will say that you don't need to only work hard, you need to work smart. And that idea is to highlight the point that you may be exerting a lot of energy, but if you are not doing the right things and taking the right actions at the right time, you may end up putting in all the effort and not getting the needed results. So it is important for us to reflect on whether or not we are expending time and energy but getting little done out of that. And the chapter, talks about some key things that I believe are important for us to reflect on, because these are things that make us feel dissatisfied with our lives. And for many people, they end up, giving up along the journey. And the first key thing is where we have no reason for living. When we do not have a sense of purpose, it is said that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. And in our reflections through the books, understanding your potential and, releasing your potential, or unveiling your potential, we came to understand how it is important to know yourselves, know your resources, and understand your function, because these are important for bringing out the potential that God has given you. So if I do not understand what I have, and I do not understand why I have what I have, it will be difficult for me to use what I have. So if I don't know what I have, I don't appreciate the fact that I have potential. I don't appreciate the fact that I have certain key skills and talents and resources, getting gifts. I'll not be able to use them. And that is anchored on me knowing my reason for existing. So it says that if you ask people, why do you exist? Most cannot tell you. They can't explain their purpose in the world. They have no vision for their lives. And these are some questions, that are worth pondering over. Do you have a sense of personal purpose? When we talk about purpose, it's basically talking about your use, why you are existing in that particular family, why you are existing in that particular community, why are you here in this generation, not in a different generation, why are you existing. So do I have that sense of personal purpose, not general purpose, not that you are in a group and there's a vision for the group and all. What is my personal vision for being even in that group? Do you know why you were born? A very important question. Does your purpose give you a passion for living? And it says that you may ask me, do I really need to have a reason for my existence? And this is an argument that some people will have. Do I need to have a reason for living? Can't I live without, having a reason? Should there be a particular, reason for living? While you may have many arguments here and there for whether or not it's important to know your purpose for life, it's very key. As we have established, if you don't know the reason why you exist, it will be difficult for you to even fulfill any significant role. And so it says that my answer is absolutely. Life is intended to have meaning. You were not born just for the fun of it. If all you have to look forward to after working for years for other people is a gold watch and a pension, then your life is a tragedy in the making. You can know why you exist, and you can experience a remarkable life in light of that knowledge. So if I don't know the reason why this particular diary was made, I wouldn't be able to use it to its full potential. If I don't know the purpose for which this laptop was made, I wouldn't be able to use it to its full potential. If I don't know what purpose the camera, the phone, the pen, the charger of the laptop was made, the reason for which it was made, I will not be able to put it to use. And so, as important as knowing the purpose for items, for gadgets is, so must we also understand that knowing my purpose for existing can be a key to having a fulfilling and satisfying life. And aside the fact that there are some who live without a reason, there's also the challenge of living without a dream, living without a certain aspiration. And the moment we lose hope, the moment we lose that sense of having something to hold on to, then there is a lot that will go wrong with us. And you talk about, people having challenges with their self esteem, people having challenges with having this expectation that things will become better, and that is a problem. And if you live without a dream, if you live without a certain sight of how things can be, without a vision for the future, then life will become meaningless. And if you have the opportunity, as someone who works within the mental health space, when you have the opportunity to have sessions with people that are going through severe depression, then you would understand what impact hopelessness can have on an individual. When there's nothing to look forward to, when a person loses that ability to look forward to a better tomorrow, then life becomes really tough to live. And so it says that when I speak to groups of people about vision, whether it's in the context of business, government, or the church, I always emphasize the following truth because I believe it is crucial for each one of us to understand. And that truth is that the poorest person in the world is a person without a dream. A person without a dream. And it says that no matter how much money you may have, if you don't have a clear vision for your life, you are truly poor. And in this case, we are using vision and dream, interchangeably. It says that, and this is something that has been said, that if you don't know where you are going, any road will take you there. What's worse, you won't even know when you have arrived. Unless you have a definite idea of where you want to go, the chances that you will get there are remote. So if I don't know where I want to get to, if I have no dream of a better tomorrow, there's no way I can find myself into a better tomorrow. If I have no dream of becoming a lawyer, there's no way I'll take the steps to become a lawyer. If I have no dream, of living a certain life, building a family that is joyous, there's no way I would be able to put in the necessary investments to get there. So the chances that I'll be able to live a certain kind of life that is fulfilling and meaningful is very remote, is very low if I don't have a certain vision or a certain foresight, a certain dream of such. And it says that the problem is that most people have no vision beyond their current circumstances. And so beyond the current troubles, beyond the current challenges, the current failures, the limitations, these individuals are not able to see beyond. And Hebrews chapter 11, the verse 1, where the chapter 11 generally talks about faith. The verse 1 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And so in that regard, the things that you have not seen, the things that you have hoped for, these are the things that help you to thrive. These are the things that help you to keep going, even when the going gets tough. And Jeremiah 29 verse 11, as it reflects here, says that I know the plans I have for you. They are plans of good and not of evil, to give you hope and a future. And so Dr. Myles says that if you can see beyond your present circumstances, if you can have hope for the future, you have true riches, no matter how much money you have in your bank account. It doesn't matter what you currently have or don't have. As long as you can see what you could have, the vision is the key to life, because there's a dream, there's a hope, and where there's hope, there's faith. And faith, as the scripture says, is the substance, the fulfillment of what you are hoping for. So it's important for us, number one, to have a certain reason for living. That keeps us going, that guides us. There was a particular case client I had sessions with, And she talks about how her children are her source of motivation to keep going. And so the fact that her children, believe in her, and they rely on her, keeps her doing her best. So there's a certain reason for being here. There's a certain reason for existing. So even when times get tough, because of my little ones, my little boy, my little girl, I would keep pushing because I want them to have a certain future that I never had. I'll keep pushing. And so there's a reason for living. If you lose that sense of having a purpose, having a reason for being alive, you would rather not be here. And number two, it's important to live with a dream. Have a certain, outlook of tomorrow. Have a certain view of tomorrow, that even if the present circumstances are not, helpful, they are not helping, there's a tomorrow that I can look forward to. God says that He has plans to give you a hope and a future. And that is something that you can hold on to. And the next thing that it talks about, which is a challenge, is living with unfulfilled dreams. And you see, many of us would have plans. Many of us would have certain dreams. I want to do so and so. I want to be here at this point. And life is such that certain things don't always go the way we wanted. And in our one of our previous books, we have reflected on the principles and benefits of change by Dr. Myles Munroe. We came to understand that change is a constant. It's the only thing that doesn't change. And so there are things that will happen, things will change. Change will happen with you, in you, around you. And if we understand that even our dreams, even our aspirations, some of them may not end up being fulfilled, it will help us not to give up. Some people have given up on their dream of becoming a doctor because along the line, maybe they weren't doing well in school, or they didn't see that there was help for them. So it says that having a vision or a dream is inherent in being human. What is your lot of things that we may dream of? And when we begin to reflect on whether or not these dreams are being fulfilled, and whether or not we have given up on certain dreams along the line just because things weren't going right, I believe that it can help us to reorder our steps. And personally, one of the things that I do is, if I have something in mind, I have a certain picture of something I hope to achieve. Maybe I want to learn something by the close of the year. I want to accomplish a particular goal. Along the line, when things get tough, one thing I have learned to do is not to give up on the idea, not to give up on the dream. I may put it aside for a while, but I always come back to it. There are times where I'm trying to, learn how to do a particular thing, and as I keep trying to learn it, it doesn't seem to be working out. What I do is that I put it on hold. And you know what? I come back to it again. It can be in a month's time, it can be in 2 months, or even a year later. I always note it down somewhere and I come back to it. And you see, sometimes the reason why that dream has not been accomplished is because you have not yet built the needed capacity to undertake that particular task or that particular goal that you had in mind. So we need to learn and understand that certain dreams may seem to be unfulfilled, but it shouldn't be the reason why we give up on living for our purpose. After exhausting ourselves, it says, are we any closer to where we wanted to go? People have all kinds of ideas in their minds, but they rarely act on them. This is the pattern that often occurs. 5 or 10 years will go by and they still haven't done anything to help realize their dreams. 20 years will pass, yet they haven't become what they really wanted to be. And that in itself, can be very frustrating. Now, in all of these challenges, living without a reason, living with no dream, or even living with unfulfilled dreams, there are some 3 key things that we need to understand. Number 1, is that we were born to be distinct. And it says that you will never be satisfied living that way because you were not created to be normal. You were designed by God not to blend in, but to stand out. So there are a lot of us who are trying to be what we are not, trying to imitate others, trying to live with the expectations of others, trying to be, the Superman that we are not, the Superwoman that we are not. We are trying to be what others have in their mind that we should be, rather than what God had in mind when He created us. The Bible says in one of my favorite scriptures, Ephesians 2 verse 10, that we are God's workmanship, and we have been created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God ordained before time that we should walk in them. So God has a unique reason for creating you, and He created you with a certain design that is unique. He made you unique. You are different, and in being different, there's an assignment for you. And it says that, think of a forest. At first glance, the trees all seem to blend together. When you get closer, however, you see that the shape of each tree is unique. Every type of tree has leaves with a distinct design. Why? Because uniqueness is part of God's creation. So you must understand that you are born to be distinct. You are born to play a certain role in this generation and the generations to come that is unique. And your value is not dependent on others. Your value is dependent on who God has made you to be and what He has placed in you. That is very important. The second key thing you must understand is that we are born with a unique vision. So if God designed me in a unique way, designed me to be different, He created me with a certain picture in mind, then He also has a particular vision for my life. He has a certain idea that I have to live with for my life. And it says that God has a dream and a vision for you that's supposed to carry you right out into eternity, because that is what is pulling it. When you die, you are meant to leave this earth not on a pension, but on a purpose. Important, points there. You are meant to leave this earth not on a pension, but on a purpose. You need to make sure you can say at the end of your life, as Jesus said, it is finished. And that is in John 19 verse 30. And not just that I am retired, because your dream is much bigger than mere retirement. So it shouldn't be that I went through life working and then at the end of the day I retired and that is it. No, when I look back at the end of the day, I should be able to find this fulfillment, that indeed I was able to play a particular role that I am proud of. I have been able to fight, the good fight, as Paul would put it. I have been able to run my race and I have finished it. And the third key thing that we must keep in mind is that we were born to be known for something. And it says that every human being was created to accomplish something specific that no one else can accomplish. It is crucial for you to understand this truth. You were designed to be known for something special. You are meant to do something that will make you unforgettable. You were born to do something that the world will not be able to ignore. And yes, it may be true that, you see, when you fail to play your role, there would always be a replacement. Someone else can be used to do what you have failed to do. But the fact is that how you would have done it, how you would have fulfilled purpose in that particular role would have been different. Because as we have established, God created us to be unique, and He created us with a unique vision. And so we are all supposed to be known for something. You read through the Bible and you find person upon person who was mentioned for a particular purpose. And it talks about, the story of the New Testament, of the woman who took an alabaster jar of perfume and anointed Jesus' head with it. This woman was taking a chance by violating the accepted social code of the day and interrupting a group of men who had gathered for a meal. Yet she decided to pour out her life in gratitude to Jesus no matter what the consequences. Some of those present severely criticized her because she had wasted costly perfume on Jesus when it could have been sold for charitable purposes. Yet Jesus said to them, "Leave her alone. I tell you the truth. Wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." In memory of her. So, no matter how small your actions, your contributions may be, you have to be known for a purpose. In your community, in your church, in your school, there should be something unique that you are contributing that will make you unforgettable. It talks about Rahab, the prostitute, who risked her life to ensure that the spies, that were sent, were not harmed. It talks about, so there are stories upon stories, and in our modern world, we have all kinds of people that through their contributions, they are never forgotten. And so the Wright brothers, you can talk about Bill Gates, you can talk about Billy Graham. There are people that have done a lot in the church history, in social reformation, in science, in aviation, in education, all kinds of people that have made meaningful contributions to their generations and the generations after. They were born to be known for something, and they indeed contributed something specific to their generation. So it is important that as we go through the rest of the book, you begin to ask yourself the question, am I living for a reason? Do I have a dream that is guiding my life? And in all of these, do I understand that I was born to be distinct? I was born with a distinct or unique vision, and that I was born to be known for something. These are the key things that we want to reflect on from the chapter. And I am believing that as we move on, there are more things that we'll learn. As we go, we want to summarize with these key principles from the chapter. Number one, the poorest person in the world is a person without a dream. Number two, the most frustrated person in the world is someone who has a dream but doesn't know how to make it come to pass. Number three, every person was created by God to be unique and distinct. Number four, God has placed in every human being a unique vision, and that vision is designed to give purpose and meaning to life. Number five, no person can give you your vision. It is God given. And number six, every human being was created to accomplish something that no one else can accomplish. And finally, one person with vision is greater than the passive force of 99 people who are merely interested in doing or becoming something. Very important statement. You want to ponder over it. One person with vision is greater than the passive force of 99 people who are merely interested in doing or becoming something. Are you a person of vision? If you are, then that will guide your purpose for life. Thank you so much for joining today's episode. And I'm believing that this year we would have more time to reflect, and I'll be able to commit a lot more time to our book reflections and other important topics on this channel. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for taking time to be part of this episode. Stay safe and remain blessed. Bye bye.